We have some breaking news about Alex Cross. Alex Cross has just got renewed for season 3. Let's go. Let's go. Season 3, y'all. Three piece special. We just got renewed for season 3 of Alex Cross. I'm so happy about this right here. And I just want to everybody who watch all my videos about Alex Cross going back to the last season. I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate every like, every comment, every share, every TikTok view, the whole nine. I definitely appreciate y'all rocking with your boy about Alex Cross. I believe that we need to support shows like this right here. This is one of my favorites. They cover so much. But let's talk about episode 8 of Alex Cross. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Lawrence Report. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, like it. Please do not forget to comment. Let's talk about Alex Cross, episode 8. Wow. Wow. So many questions. Is Rebecca really dead? Alex Cross against the world? The neighborhood coming to save the day? Kayla and Elle facing off? To John, his father? Oh, let's dive into it, y'all. Ooh, man, what an episode. One of the biggest things I was surprised about, I was like, how are they going to wrap it all up? And I think they actually did a good job at wrapping up most of the all important parts of Alex Cross. Now we know there's two people left, Duran and Nat, right? So now the focus is trying to protect Nat, right? That we know that there is like a little party, little engagement going on, but for Nat, she has like a food allergy. But guess who got into the food allergy? The one and only Rebecca, right? Somehow, some way, she ended up getting her with that food allergy, and they end up facing off. They're going at it in the hospital room because that's where she kind of like got transported to. They're facing off. It's a bloody situation. Rebecca gets the best of her, and when she leaves, you end up seeing that picture of her mother as well. Now we know Kayla, Cross, and her boss. They're all trying to protect, what I'm saying, Duran and things of nature right there. But the thing about Duran, Cross is going to learn the hard way, unfortunately, that he kind of has some higher up people in his back pocket, including the department that Cross. So I'm talking about the big bosses with Kayla, Roy, and the other agent. They're all are kind of in Duran's back pocket. And for Rebecca, she's down to target the one and only Lance Duran now. So if she gets him, right, he's cat cornered. They're in that field. She gets ready to basically take him out. But Cross comes to save the day into John, right? But while they're doing that, she ends up, well, that dirt ends up going on Duran, right? Because Rebecca ends up escaping. So now it's like, okay, now she's in the field. She's done escaping. Now Lance and this whole prosperity project, right, that he's been working on is about to go up in flames. Now, for Cross, he has that tape, right? And that tape has some important information. But Kayla also gets her promotion, right? So knowing Kayla was moving along, moving up in the workforce, right? Or that's what we thought. That's when Cross is confronted by the three big bosses, and they want to know about that tape. And then they end up sending Roy to babysit Cross. Cross ends up knocking out Roy because he's like, "Yo, I'm not giving up this tape. I'm not giving up this evidence to nobody." So now it's Cross against the world. Cross, unfortunately, the way it's looking, has gone rogue almost. Not quite exactly because we get why he's doing what he's doing, right? What's crazy to me that Kayla is really lining up to be on their side. We saw her wiretapping basically cross location with the big bosses. I'm like, dang, was you just sleeping with this man? Now you turn your back on this man for a promotion? That is crazy to me. But hey, like the old saying, don't trust these white women. That's what somebody told me. That's what somebody told me. And we saw that with Alex Cross. We saw that. So this may be a lesson to the wise. You know what I mean? Like you wiretapping this man right here. Like I think Cross started to realize that, yo, She's indeed wiretapping me. She's about to find out my location. So Cross is like, how can I protect the neighborhood? How can I this is not what I thought it was going to be, considering that now it seems like Duran, they act like they don't want to take Duran down. It's like Duran has him in their back pocket. And you know what I mean when I say a crooked system. And Cross is like, I can't stand for this. So Cross is a man on the run, and he's driving that Mustang, and I love those shots, those scenes right there with the Mustang. I thought that was so dope in itself right there. And now the neighborhood was key in saving Cross, because we ended up seeing him being able to pull up to Ben's Chili Bowl. You know what I'm saying? He had a little parking garage joint that was fired. And I kept wondering, when the agents came, Two John stepped up, was like, yo, we close for business, dog. Don't come any closer. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it went haywire from there. And I forgot to mention this earlier. Of course, Cross ended up knocking out Roy. I don't think I mentioned that. But going back to Two John and the Ben's Chili Bowl scene, yo, you got to go. We close, right? So shout out to Neighborhood for riding with Cross. They even gave him another car. And I was wondering, like, yo, when is he going to switch out cars? Because he kept driving that Mustang around. He got another car. Thankfully, the Neighborhood looked out for Cross big time. And also, speaking of people being in the neighborhood, we gotta talk about Kayla and L. Whoo, whoo. This was good. This was good. Now we know Cross even almost when he goes back to L location, he's asking about that bag, right? And in that bag, he needs that bag, right? But even while he's going through this and letting her know what's going on with him, she lets him know that he's a good man, but this system is the system. And he says, you know what, you're right. And then he almost whispers and says, I love you almost. But then he said, I'll see you when you get back. And she said, yeah, make sure you come back, basically, right? And of course, Kayla is on their side now, right? Oh, Kayla. Kayla ends up pulling up to L's spot. They have a conversation. She's like, I heard so much about you. I just want you to know Cross loves you. L was like, ma'am, I can't help you. If it's not nothing about my job, I don't know where Cross is at. They get into this big little confrontation here and there. Kayla try to flex her muscles, ma'am, I can have you arrested. L's like, listen, I'm not worried about that. I don't know where Cross is at. So I love that beef in between them two right there. Because both of these women are kind of caught up in the middle with Cross. But I appreciate L sticking to her guns. And we saw Kayla flex, basically, she didn't cry, but it was almost like some white woman tears, almost, right? Like, be on my side, that kind of thing. But I'm so proud of L for holding Cross down. Proud of Two John for holding Cross down. Now we know Cross must get to the senator because the senator has a debt to pay. Cross told him that you got a debt to pay. Your family has a debt to pay because of everything that the family has done in the past and things of that nature right there. So now it's a big focus on paying that debt. He does do that. We know he's going to hold a press conference. He tells Duran, I cannot be on your side because your company and with my family, we had these Hispanic children. They've been buried under Duran properties. They've been forced into child labor, the whole nine. So I appreciate the senator for riding with Cross as well. Now, while Cross is still, being on the escape and like that, that's when he thanks him. He thanks Cross. So I was so happy about that right there. Now, the evidence for Rebecca. Rebecca ends up finding out about the truth with her aunt about the tape, right? She confronts her aunt on the bridge. Cross pulls up. He's like, yo, don't do this right here. Rebecca tells her aunt, you sold us out. You sold me and the family out for 50,000. And then the aunt is making all these excuses. The aunt tells Rebecca to run. The aunt pulls out the gun. The aunt is out of here because Cross takes her out. Rebecca's standing there, right? Contemplating it. Cross says, no, don't do it. Rebecca ends up doing suicide, or at least we thought, because we end up seeing later on that Rebecca, whenever all the Latinos was marching, right, we saw that back tattoo. So it's Rebecca. truly dead? Y'all let me know down in the comments because she may have faked her own death. And let me talk about Two John a little bit. Now, Two John, always been a great brother to Cross, right? But for him, he's still dealing with some family stuff. So we know Nana Mama, his real mama, they get into it. She said, I need you to do me a favor. She gets the information, the address basically of where Two John dad's located. Two John hears this right here. He hears Nana Mama talking about, I'm sorry that I lied to you, right? But for Two John, when he gets the location about his daddy, he ends up breaking down crying. So he's still trying to heal, right? The little boy inside of him, mama in jail, daddy somewhere out there. That's his story right now. So we're gonna meet his dad in the next season, right? And in our end game, Cross is getting ready to put down the badge because Cross is like, listen, I can't play by these rules. If you're telling me that people like Duran can get off, what am I wearing this badge for? Right? Like we're protecting people like that. We got judges in his back pocket. So Cross is starting to understand the system. He's just like, I can no longer wear this badge because it's not what I thought it was once was. It's not necessarily to protect and serve, but we're protecting and serving undercover, corrupt people that are not abiding by the rules. Now Cross gives up that badge. He's out of there. And that's how the episode ends with Cross driving into the sunset. Cross at a crossroads in his life. So, Alex Cross, episode 8. It's great. It's great. They wrapped it up just right. I thought it was great. Of course, you still had the mastermind situation. I think that's something that may explore that, or that may could just be it from now. But from what I'm seeing, how will Cross operate without the badge? Will he be his own man? How's that going to work? How's that going to work? Alex Cross, it's been a blast, y'all, covering the show. I love it so much. What a series, man. What a show. I appreciate all the love, support. Like I said before, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And as always, until next season, thank you for tuning in to the Lawrence Support and watching my Alex Cross videos. It's greatly appreciated.